if you thought this guy couldn't get any worse, he went to prison and he made a friend. And guess who his new buddy was? Chris Watts. I can't make it up. This story is literally the stuff of nightmares. Jamie Closs was only 13 years old when she got abducted from her own home in 2018 in Wisconsin. Also want to apologize for the lighting. The sunshine is in hiding today, so we're making it work. Jake Patterson is who we're going to unfortunately be talking about today. Growing up, he lived in Barron, Wisconsin with his two older siblings, his mom and his dad. The town he grew up in was a pretty tiny town. It was one of those that was kind of isolated. He had a normal childhood. His parents did get divorced when he was 10 years old and he moved in with his dad. His dad bought a cabin in the woods and he originally moved in there with the dad and his older brother, but they eventually move out. In 2011, Jake is in high school. He's described as a quiet, nerdy kid. He did have a small friend group, although he was known to get angry very quickly. He also had a girlfriend in high school as well that later described his personality to be very disturbing. One of the reasons why the girlfriend said his personality was disturbing is because she spent a lot of time in that cabin in the woods and Jake would like to experiment with animals for fun, as in cut them open and pull out their insides. 2015, he graduates high school and he just cuts everyone off. He does not want to have any contact with anyone that went to school with him. He just pretends that he never even attended the school in the first place. He's 18 years old now, living in the cabin with his older brother. The older brother had issues of his own. The dad has already moved out, so it's just them two for now. Soon after, Jake actually joins the Marines, but only for a little bit because he cannot complete the training program. Something about Jake is that he has a very lazy personality, doesn't like to put effort into basically anything in his life. His older brother ends up moving out. Now you just have Jake living in this cabin in the woods by himself. He does try and get a job, but like I said, very lazy guy. So he will go show up for one day and then quit, repeat. So he's living in this cabin. He's feeling very lonely. Mind you, that is on purpose because it was his decision to cut off all of his friends. And he decides it might be good to get a friend or maybe even a girlfriend. How should I do that? Oh, I know. I should abduct someone. It's October 2018. Jake is only 21. He is so young. He ends up getting a job at a cheese factory and he only works there for 2 days. But on one of those 2 days, he's driving to work and he's driving behind a school bus. The school bus stops in front of this girl's house to pick her up. Jake sees the girl getting on the bus. The girl is Jamie Closs and he looks at her and says, "That's her. I'm gonna take her." Jamie was an only child. She was only 13. She was in middle school and she sounds like a lovely girl. She was an athlete. She loved her parents. They were her best friends. She also had a little dog that she adored and she had a really close friend group. Now that Jake has spotted her, his only goal in life is to plan on taking Jamie. Like I said, he doesn't have a job. He doesn't have any friends. I don't know if he talks to his family, but his eyes are only set on Jamie. Throughout the next week, Jake starts getting everything prepared to take Jamie. He does a few things to do this. First, he goes to the store and buys a black ski mask as well as an all black outfit. He then gets his car ready. He rips out the interior lights so that no one sees him. He steals plates from his neighbor, I think, and changes out his plates on his car. He steals a weapon from his dad's collection and wipes down every single shell casing with gloves on so that there's no DNA left at all. To go an extra step farther to make sure that he doesn't leave any DNA, he shaves his entire head. He thinks he's all prepared now. He goes to execute his plan and he actually tries 3 times before he's actually successful. Well, he tries twice. The third time he is unfortunately successful. The first time he drove to Jamie's house, there was a car in the driveway and he got scared and drove away. The second time he pulled up, there was a light on in the basement, again got scared and drove away. The third time was October 15th. October 15th, Jake Patterson drives to Jamie's house after midnight. On his drive, he's giving himself a pep talk, literally saying, "You can do this, you can do this." When he pulls into the driveway, Jamie's dog starts barking and that wakes up Jamie, who then runs over to her parents' bedroom and wakes them up. Her parents look out the window and see this man walking towards the house, so the dad tells Jamie and her mom to go hide and tells them that he's gonna go to the door and check who it is. He opens the door. He thinks it's a cop walking towards him because who else would be walking towards your house after midnight? But it's not a cop. We know now it's Jake Patterson, and he looks at the dad, tells him to get on his knees and him. Within a second, James Closs, who was only 56 years old, lost his life. Jamie and her mom hear it from the bathroom and they're terrified. Jake is walking around the house looking for them. He eventually goes to the bathroom and sees that the door is locked, so he knows they're in there. The mom luckily had her phone on her. She dialed 911, but before she could say anything, Jake had already broken the door down. Jake grabs Jamie, ties her arms and her ankles together, puts duct tape over her mouth and drags her out of the bathroom. He then goes back into the bathroom room and kills Jamie's mom. Denise Kloss, only age 46, lost her life again within 1 second. This whole thing happens within a matter of 5 minutes. Jamie has now lost both of her parents. Jake grabs Jamie, shoves her in his trunk, and drives away. Because the mom had dialed 911, the cops are on the way to their house, and they unknowingly so pass Jake and Jamie. Their cars pass right next to each other. When the cops get there, they obviously see 2 dead bodies. They quickly realize that Jamie is not there and that she has been kidnapped. Back at the cabin, Jake drags Jamie inside this filthy, disgusting, gross cabin, orders her to change out of her clothes, burns those clothes, gives her a new pair of clothes, and says, "This is your home now." Jake tells Jamie that if anyone comes looking for her, he will kill them. Where she stays for the next 88 days is underneath his bed. Jake puts boxes filled with weights all around her so she can't get out. The FBI gets involved. There are thousands of volunteers. This case is all over the news. So many people helping look for Jamie, as well as hoping to find not only the murderer, but also the kidnapper. Jake has taken Jamie because he wanted a friend. Someone that would be his friend, that would eventually become his girlfriend. She stays underneath the bed for long periods of time, but while he's home, he does let her come out. And he's actually kind to her. He wants to hang out with her, play games with her. Oh, because he's so lonely and wants a friend so bad, he makes Jamie sleep in his bed at night because he wants a friend. When he leaves during the day, though, she does go back underneath the bed. In his own twisted, sick mind, he thinks that Jamie's eventually gonna get over the fact that he killed both of her parents and that they're eventually gonna date and be a happy couple. In Jamie's head, she is doing whatever he wants because she wants to gain his trust to one day try to escape. That is Jamie's life for now, and every single Saturday, Jake has his dad visit. When he does, Jamie gets underneath the bed, blocked by those heavy weights. Jake plays really loud music in case that Jamie was to make a noise, his dad wouldn't hear her. 12 days after she was taken, they had the funeral for both of her parents, and Jamie obviously couldn't make it, which is so sad. It is now December. Jamie has been stuck in that cabin for over 2 months now. One night, Jake is under the influence and he starts feeling really guilty. He's venting to Jamie about how he feels really bad. He says, "If you want to write a letter to your aunt to let her know that you're alive, I will go mail it to her." The next morning, he sobers up and he's like, "Yeah, you know what? I don't feel bad. Don't write the letter." This happens really often where kidnappers get really confident. They start to really believe in their little tiny brains that they're going to get away with this. That happened to Jake Patterson, and he got so confident that he was going to be able to keep Jamie in hiding forever. He had the nerve to have his entire family over for Christmas dinner. Yeah, so he puts Jamie underneath the bed with the weights all around her. As his family is in the living room eating Christmas dinner, he's playing music really loud so that they can't hear Jamie if she makes any sound. Like, can you believe that? Jamie has slowly been trying to test out to see if she can move the boxes with the weights, and she figures out that little by little she can. After being held hostage for 88 days, it's now January 10th. For some weird reason, Jake tells Jamie that he's gonna be gone that day for 5 to 6 hours. Jamie decides today is the day that she's going to escape. This is her chance. She is underneath the bed with the boxes all around her. She waits until she hears Jake walk out. She slowly starts to wiggle out of there and move the boxes. She's able to move them enough to crawl out of the bed, and she runs to the front door, grabs the first pair of shoes that she sees, which are Jake's, and runs out. She runs into a woman who's walking her dog. The woman sees this little girl. She looks really disheveled. Jamie just says, "Help, help, I need help. I am Jamie." The woman recognizes Jamie because her face has been all over the news. She takes Jamie and goes into the first house that they see. Inside the house, it's a couple's house, so now there's 3 adults and Jamie. She says, "Jake Patterson killed my parents and he has been keeping me hostage." The couple knows that the Pattersons live down the road, so they believe her, obviously. The cops arrive. Their first priority is to drive Jamie far away from there, so they do. When they're doing that, they see Jake driving back home. Jamie looks at the car and says, "I think that's him." She goes with the cops. Jake drives home, gets out of the car, notices that Jamie is no longer there. He's getting ready to go back out and start looking for her. Another team of officers block him in. He just gets out of the car, looks really defeated, and says, "I know what this is about. I did it." Jake is arrested, finally. He confesses everything to the police. While he's awaiting trial, he writes a letter to Jamie and to the news stations, apologizing to Jamie, saying that he's really sorry. In the letter, he puts little hearts all over Jamie's name, which is So psychotic. Meanwhile, honestly, the town did not think that Jamie was alive at this point. Everyone's really happy to see her come back home. She gets reunited with her puppy and with her aunt. I thought this was such a sweet detail. You guys know Elizabeth Smart. If you know anything about true crime, you've probably heard of her. Elizabeth got kidnapped from her own home as well when she was around the same age as Jamie, and she was held captive for 9 months and was able to escape. Elizabeth Smart visited Jamie and gave her advice on how to move on, which I thought was really sweet. In March of 2019, Jake Patterson pled guilty and he was sentenced to 2 life sentences for the murders as well as 40 years for kidnapping, and the judge said that he would never be eligible for parole. And yeah, he made a friend in prison. Like, I'm talking an actual friend that would stand up for him in fights, and the friend was Chris Watts. I thought that was so gross, and they're just both monsters. The last update I could find was in 2020. Her family said that Jamie was doing very well as she could be. I can't even imagine how you would start to process something like that, but yeah, that's the story of Jamie Kloss. Let me know what you guys think, and kisses to all you on all your foreheads. Love you.